Carla Page. Welcome to my show. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so thrilled every week to be with you, and I love you so much. And for me to choose the guests to produce the shows also, besides being the host, is just remarkable and a blessing to do. This week, we have a fabulous lady that I just met at a friend of mine. We have a mutual friend, Sadie and Ned was celebrating his 70th birthday party. I don't think he minds me saying that because everybody there knew what the number was. And I met Mrs. Deb Carpenter, an artist, a teacher. And there's so much more about her, which she'll tell you some more about her. But I wanted to invite her on because we're going to be talking about the stuff that goes on in the Capital District that pertains to art. There are a lot of you that have an art person, an artist inside of you. So maybe this show will bring it out. Deb, welcome to my program. Thank you for coming. I know you're busy, but I thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So quickly, your backstory, and then we have a super surprise for you at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Your backstory is what?
Well, I retired from the state about 7 years ago. I was in IT. But a few years before that, I got the painting bug, and I haven't stopped. And I've been fully involved with the Schenectady Art Society for over a decade. And they're just a great group of artists. And one thing led to the other. I kept painting. I tried different mediums, different techniques, and things like that. And I've always loved the arts, so it's wonderful to be part of it now.
So how many paintings do you think you've actually painted since you started?
Over 200, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
So
beautiful.
they're not all good.
So now, the thing with painting, and then we'll go into a lot of the stuff that's going on and we want people to come to, we want to invite you to come to. So how does the bug happen? Where does it come from to want to be an artist, to want to paint, to want to draw?
I've met so many people that have said, oh, I can't paint. And I get them into one of our workshops that we do, or one of the sip and paints that I've done over the years. And it's amazing that they say they've never painted before. And I'm like, oh, come on. And I just think it brings about a certain sense of peace, inner peace, when you're painting and creating something that has meaning to you and hopefully has meaning to someone else, the viewer.
Sure, that's lovely. I've been around artists, not just performing artists, but artists all my life too. And I have a lot of friends that are artists, so I applaud you, all of you. I applaud you.
Thank you. You too.
Oh, thank you. So tell us about what's going on in the Capital District. We want to know because we want to support you.
Well, there is an art gallery that opened up in Clifton Park about 3 years ago. It's called the Blooming Artist Gallery, and it's located at 675 Grooms Road. And if you haven't been there yet, you have to go. Cynthia Romano's the owner. She did a wonderful job designing that art gallery. There's a new show going up there on August 15th. And I'm not sure when it goes through October 21st, I believe. And then there'll be a reception on September 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. You got to go. They put on a great spread, and it's just wonderful to go and see a new show because it's all new artwork. And then I'll be also teaching a class there on palette knife painting. It's kind of a new technique that maybe I came up with. I can't find anything on it, but I'll be teaching that on September 9th from noon to 3. And then the Schenectady Art Society. Well, they've got so much going on. Right now, there's a show at the Voorheesville Library. We just set that up this week. The Turf Tavern is a great restaurant. If you haven't gone there, I'm telling you, it's the only restaurant I always order dessert there because they have that hummingbird cake. It's delicious. And the owner there was just so wonderful. She actually installed a professional hanging system and invited the Schenectady Art Society artists to come in and show. Now we leave it up to her. She's a businesswoman. She's got a restaurant to run. So we'll be setting up a new show there on October 3rd. And I don't know how long. It's going to at least run through February. But it's anytime you go to the Turf Tavern, you will see the Schenectady artists.
February
work.
2024.
Yeah, at least, if not later. We leave it up to her. The Gildan Library, we're going to be showing there for the first time on September 1st. We'll be there for the full month. And Maybe Farms, we have a show there now that will be going until September 2nd. If you haven't been to Maybe Farms, you have to check it out. Google it, look it up. It's a great place.
I've been there many times. I love it.
It's beautiful.
Matter of fact, I've interviewed some people from there over the years.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
I'm familiar
yeah.
with them.
Because that's all part of the Schenectady Historical Society. It's just a wonderful group. Yeah, they've been very gracious to our group. And also, I let you know about this one, the Electric City Arts Contest. Google it. It's. I think it's in. Did you say the 4th year?
Yes, it's in the 4th year, and they're open for submissions through October 1st, and anyone in the Capital Region can submit something, and it includes all forms of art, visual arts, literature, poetry, short stories, original music, original,
Short films.
Digital art. And the first submission is no cost. And then after that, it's just $5. And they've got so many prizes that they're giving out. They've got judges. Yeah. And I spoke to Craig, the administrator and founder, and he was super kind and informative. And I know I will be submitting some poetry and maybe some other things. And I got a lot of my friends to do it as well.
That's good. Yeah.
So it's good that they can go on the internet and check that out.
I think he emailed the notification on that to the Schenectady Art Society, so I believe they all know about it.
Yes. And that's the Electric City Arts Contest.org. .org. So I'm going to say a couple of names to you, Deb. And if you are just joining me, I'm Carla Page, and this is my show. And if you see me in this attire, this is the latest in Carla wear.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it lovely?
Mine's a little more seasoned.
And
that's what we call it, seasoned.
But this is because for part 2, you'll know why I'm wearing this, okay? 2 names I'm going to say to you. I know you've been around a lot of people over the years, and I know you've come in contact with a lot of people. Are you familiar with Mabel Leon?
No.
She's an artist that's right here in Schenectady.
Oh, no kidding.
How about Robert Blood, a sculptor and an artist?
No.
Yeah, he's deceased, but he has saturated the area also with art and sculpture.
Nice.
His sculpture is all over.
Oh.
Just wondered if you did,
Yeah.
And then I met your husband, Chris.
Yes.
And he was kind.
He is.
Is he an artist also?
Oh, God, no. No, I love him dearly. He's my soulmate, 45 years and still going, but we do not let him pick up a paintbrush.
You don't?
No,
okay.
No. He's more of a spray painter.
Oh, I gotcha.
Lawn furniture, things like that. But if something's broken, he can fix it.
He'll do that.
He's amazing. Yeah.
What really impressed me about when we were talking on the phone, Deb, was when you were talking about the Schenectady Art Society, that the traffic light control box is just right out here in front of the. Tell the viewers about that, so that if you haven't seen this, you've got to check this out. Now, tell them.
Well, it started with Carol Roberton and her husband Don, who has since passed away, God bless. But he was in touch with the mayor of the city and came up with this suggestion because they had seen something similar in Rochester. And so we met with the mayor, and we partnershiped with them. And it was just such a great project where we would try to theme the particular control box to wherever it was located. Like there's one near where they have the farmers market. That's all like veggies and things of that nature. The Erie Canal, there's one themed after the Erie Canal. The one in front of Proctor's here is themed, of course, entertainment. And that was our first one. And it was so exciting to do those. Since I stepped down as president for Schenectady Art Society, they haven't had the time or the people to coordinate that. It took a lot of coordination because we had all the supplies and you have to pass them off. But it was just so wonderful when we were doing them, all of the positive feedback that we got from the local community. The one we were doing in front of the bow tie down here, they were upstairs in their office and they were looking down, wondering what we were doing, and putting all these colorful flowers on there. And then they would come down on their lunch break and they would just chat with us and they were just amazed. We actually got quite a few new members that way too, because they would see our work and what we were doing and they wanted to be a part of it. So, yeah.
I like, too, that you're going, Deb, to the Niskayuna Senior Center. That must be.
Yes.
I love working with the geriatric population, and I do all the
Yeah.
time through singing. And I like that you're
wonderful.
going there.
Yeah, I did a class for them last month, I think it was, and the feedback was just wonderful. The people are so nice. And the Schenectady Art Society is actually partnered with the Niskayuna Senior Center. And they've been wonderful. I mean, they look to the Schenectady Art Society artists and they schedule different classes. And it is open to the public. I think you either have to be a member of Schenectady Art Society or a member of the Niskayuna Center. And I believe if you're a member of the Senior Center, the classes were free for them. So that's wonderful.
Okay.
They got an art grant, and so they pay the instructors a certain amount.
Yes.
But we also, the Schenectady Art Society, at that location at the Senior Center is where we hold our workshops. I'll be doing a workshop on the palette knife technique for them on October 10th, or 14th, sorry. October 14th,
cool,
yeah.
cool.
And that's pretty much an all-day thing, goes 10:30 to 2:30. They take a break for lunch and bring your own lunch kind of thing. But yeah, it's very nice.
Beautiful. I'm
Thank you.
excited. I really am.
I am too, yeah, it's
So
gonna be
how can
fun.
you be reached if anyone has any questions or comments for you?
They can reach me at justdebartworks@gmail.com.
Okay. And one other quick question before we go into our surprise.
Guys.
So if someone is sitting out there watching now and they have an interest in art, just be frank with them. Is it costly to do this? I mean, because realistically, you got to paint, the canvas,
Yeah.
the this, the that.
Yep.
Is it affordable?
It is. It depends on what you start with. I think you can get watercolors and the materials you need for that fairly reasonable at Michael's. Even acrylics is fairly reasonable. Oils, it's a little bit more. The prices are a little bit higher doing oils. I work primarily with watercolor and acrylics myself. Some acrylics can be quite expensive. I mean, the best acrylics are golden, but that's the name brand. But I have some of those. But you can mix them up. I mean, some people use strictly just golden paints or another brand. For my demos, I use student grade paint. And you can start off with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. You like I said, you can get. I even picked up some fluid acrylics at Walmart because I use the heavier acrylics, a nicer brand, and that beefs it up a bit. So,
sure. Okay.
It's
wondered,
it's
and
affordable.
Just to be, so that people know.
Shop around.
That it's doable, that it is all doable.
Yeah, you can even shop around on Amazon. Blick Art Supplies has some really good deals online. Yeah.
Good.
So.
Well, I do want to become a member of the Schenectady Art Society, and I'll talk to you more about that after.
Wonderful.
But we have a surprise for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to paint. Deb Carpenter and I, we're going to paint. So don't you Don't you go nowhere. Don't change the dial. Stay right there where you are. Don't leave us.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back. So you're retired quickly. Just tell us what you did.
Well, I was in IT. I did some programming. I created a lot of databases for tax and finance. And then I went into email support. I was that person that would remote in and say, do not touch the mouse. I will send someone over there. But it was a lot of fun. I got to know a lot of people.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been retired about 7 years now and enjoying retirement. I have to say I miss the people, but I don't miss work.
How long have you been retired?
About 7 years.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So we're going to jump in now to do our painting, and Deb said to just do what I feel, and you know, we need some jazz playing in the background, don't we? Maybe Jeremy can hum something.
Play it for us, Jeremy. There you go.
So how are we going to start? Tell me what to do for the beginning.
This is a technique that I was playing around with earlier this year, and it was for some very cool people we know in Florida, and they wanted me to do a sip and paint for their friend's birthday party. So I thought, what's going to be fun? I want to have fun. And I'm sorry, but cleaning brushes for that many people is not a lot of fun. So I said, how about palette knife painting? But I'm doing something a little bit different than how you normally see palette knife painting. We're going to use a lot of white. We're only using 2 colors of the heavy body acrylic. I like to use the white and Payne's Gray, my all-time favorite color for blending. And then we have a plethora of fluid acrylics. So I'm going to be blending as I go, and I'm going to take the back of my palette knife and I'm going to scoop up a gob of white paint. I'm going to try not to get it on that microphone. And then I'm just going to layer quite a bit on there. But this goes pretty quick because you've got to blend as you go. So now this part that I'm working on, I like to do the skies first. People, that you can do whatever you want. when I'm doing a seascape or a landscape, I like to go with
goes on
with
smooth.
The sky. It goes on smooth, and then I just dipped my palette knife in a few colors of the fluid acrylics, and I'm blending it as I go. Now I've got some blue in there. I like to put that down first because that's going to show through. So, but then I like to get into, I might just like wipe some of that paint off of my palette knife. I have some paper towels here.
And then really just like wipe it where it's really on there really good.
Yeah. I got brown mixed in there. That's the problem when I travel with these.
Because it even gives a nice flow when the surface, even though like this part
I didn't some really cool
I didn't
texture.
blend all the way, but I like
no,
the way
you don't want
I like
to.
that.
Yeah,
it's got that.
Yeah, and what you can do is I just like to take a few colors and just kind of with the skies. I like to go in a more circular to get like cloud shapes almost.
And then we're going to paint something on top of this.
No, well, where the white is, that's where you want to blend in some color.
Okay, all right.
And we can even use a little red if we want to get like a cool sunset vibe.
Oh, this is fun. I'm having
cool?
a good time. I really am.
Cool.
And when you start doing something like this, you need to have the time to do it.
Yeah,
you can't rush through this. This has to be where you take your time.
Well, with palette knife painting, it goes so fast. It's not like using a brush where, I didn't cover the canvas there. Let me get the brush. But this just goes like so quick.
And do you usually have something in mind that you want to do, or can it be like how I'm doing it, just my inner feelings coming through?
You can do whatever makes you happy. You know, you don't have to always have an idea in mind. A lot of people just sit down and it's a great relaxer because it's like, I'm just going to push some paint around and see what happens. That's what my cousin says.
So what's a good age for a child to start painting, Deb?
Oh, I started my grandkids at, well, as soon as they could hold a brush. So when they were 3 or 4.
And this is good. I like this with the knife. This is good for probably a child to do, right?
Yes. And I hadn't been doing that yet. So I have not introduced them to this type of painting yet, but I will. There's still time for that. But yeah, this is, I'm just getting in a few colors here.
And you're around a lot of artists all the time. So tell me about that. What's that like when all of you are together?
Oh my God. The artists that we hang out with, like in Schenectady Art Society, there's so many different levels of experience with everyone. And you know, sometimes you're like, I can't do that, you know. It's like, that is so good and it's amazing. Like we have this one girl, she actually paints on silk. And the pieces are amazing. She has a piece over at the Voorheesville Library, and she framed it so that if you blow on it, it moves. And a lot of her work, when you walk past it, it changes. So it's really very interesting how she does that. And it's just like every time you go see art, you come out and you're just happy.
So I want to just run this by you. We've got the colors all separated here. See how they're all separated? But someone else could take and mix it all together and still do it, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, it might get a little muddy if you do that.
Oh, okay.
Generally, these usually aren't that blended on the
this
canvas.
Is pretty,
but
just like that. It's just like a beautiful.
But I set those up, and
that's beautiful. Just there.
And I was driving around with them, so they kind of, like, mine really got blended a bit.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't usually blend them in that much. When I do a class, I will have just the heavy body paints on the palette, and then I have a table set up where they can just go and pick out whatever colors you want. And I always have a big variety to work with. So now I'm gonna kind of jump ahead. I'm gonna
go ahead.
do some boats here.
We're painting on the Carla Page show this week. That's what we're doing.
And a lot of times I'll let like the base dry a bit, but we're working with timing here, so I want to just pull ahead so you can see these are very rudimentary boats. And I like to use the Payne's gray to just get that to get them on the canvas here. And you can work with a palette board. We have palette canvases today, and you can see the back of it has a little frame on it, because I didn't want to make Carla try and hang on to a palette board with paint on it. Wow. Nothing to grab onto. So I was trying to be a little thoughtful there, Carla.
Thank you. And speaking of the paint, Deb, this paint is it washes out. Like if if it gets on your clothing or on your furniture or anything,
it will not wash out.
Okay.
So make sure that
very, very careful.
You cover everything. This is why we're wearing the smocks, because if you don't, it could be a problem.
Okay.
So, but I'm gonna put that in there, and I'm gonna just show you how I do the mass on these boats. I mean, I kind of get a little bit of water in there because I want it kind of runny. You could feasibly, for the mask, you could use a fluid acrylic, but
Okay.
so I'm just going to, I usually like to have it steadied a little bit.
And that we are washing our knives like from time to time just to wash them. And
For these, I use the straight one.
okay, so
Your other weapon that I gave
so the
you.
other one now.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's for when you're actually doing one. I'm still doing
Yeah.
my
Oh, yes.
the bottom of
Yeah.
this.
And like, see that there was kind of a happy accident. That's what I love about these.
But it was okay.
Yeah, and it's okay.
I wanted to ask you too about like if someone had any questions or comments. Again, I just wanted to have you give your information because I want people to be encouraged today.
Yes.
So will you give out your information again for us?
Oh,
please?
sure. You can reach me at via email at justdebartworks@gmail.com.
Okay, that's
And I don't check my email every day, but I'm always in there a couple times a week. So don't fret if I don't answer the first day.
Do you know anyone? Oh, but thank you for giving that again.
Sure.
Do you know anyone that's really done things that have been like gone like national or international?
There was a woman. She had some contacts. We called her Dr. Linda.
Oh, okay.
But she did the most unique pieces, and she would raise money for charity, and people would buy her paintings for like $8,000, and they were really tiny, but they were so unique and just so cleverly done. Yeah. So she sold things like overseas, and yeah.
And I think that's another good question. How do you know when you start to really get a good swing of this and a handle on it? How do you know what to charge if you feel you want to charge? How do you know how to price your stuff?
Well, I usually go by, well, how much have I invested in the painting, both in time and materials? So you want to account for that. And then plus, like, because galleries take a percentage, you want, how much do you need to get for that? You know, so you have to price accordingly.
I see.
And, you know, it's fine.
Oh, this is great.
And then I can tint these boats a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Just go
I know
through there.
I'm still doing my backdrop here. Oh gosh.
So, and sometimes I might like the piece that we have on display here.
Oh yes, it's beautiful.
I probably did that in like 2 sessions. And the first, with this, one session is about an hour. So maybe 2 hours I spent on that.
2 hours. Okay.
Yeah. They go quick, you know, and that the size of that one is a 16 by 20.
Oh, okay.
I have an 18 by 24 that's going into the gallery next week for the next opening. So, yeah.
So let me ask you this, Deb. How did you feel when one of your art pieces went into a gallery for the first time?
Oh, man. I'll never forget when I got a piece into the Arkell Museum in Schenectady. And I went to the reception. My husband was there, and there was this woman looking really close at this painting I did. It was of 3 snails, and it was a black and white oil. And she was looking so close at it. And she goes, "Oh, that looks so real." And I was like, "Thank you." And she turned around, and it was like she was meeting a movie star. And I'm like, "Hey, it's just Deb. That's how I sign my paintings. It's just Deb."
Oh.
But she was so thrilled. And that just blew me away. I was like, okay. But yeah, so, but like I said, with this, you can go back in and add some more colors if you want. I don't really have the right palette knife that I'm working
Now,
with here.
let me ask you about this. Certain areas and cultures, someone said to me before many years ago that, and this is what they said to me, and I'm
Yeah.
going to share this with you.
Okay.
Okay? To see what you feel, your take on it. They said to me that not enough African Americans were doing art. Do you find that?
I do. And I wish we had more, because you get such a different take on, depending on where you come from and how you grew up. And because I just think that you can get a lot more meaning. And, the way the country is today, it's just like, come on, people, let's just not do that.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Let a person express themselves.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's how I feel about it. But
And there's artists in us who we're all we need. You know what we need is someone to give us a chance and believe in us.
exactly.
If you showed, which is what you're doing now, you're showing me, I believe in you.
Yeah.
And that there is the trigger.
Exactly. That's why sip and paint classes are so much fun, because people have a cocktail, they're going to loosen up a little bit. get rid of, I know a lot of them it's called paint and sip. And I prefer sip and paint, because you got to have your priorities. But it takes away those inhibitions, like, oh my God, I can't do this. Yes, you can, and let it be, if it's going to be a geometric shape, if it's going to be an even flow, whatever it is you want to be, that's you. That's who you are.
Yes.
And you have to, express that. But yeah, I wish we had more. I wish we had more in the Schenectady Art Society, but it's like we, welcome everybody with open arms.
Yes.
You're
No,
all
I
welcome,
believe
you
that.
know?
Yeah, no, I believe that. I do.
And
Now, these canvases, now we're on one size here, but there's so many sizes. And that, I asked you earlier about the paints and the tools being affordable. How about these being affordable?
these are cheap. You get like a package of 10 of them. I forget how much they were, maybe $10.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you just wanted to play around, if you got the boards that are real thin, the canvas boards are cheaper. So you could start off with those and just see how you like it. I had my son's girlfriend work with me on when I was doing the original study for this particular piece.
Yes.
And she was wonderful. I'm like, oh my God. I go, why aren't you painting more, girl? And she really did a great job. And then she did a bunch more paintings, and she really got the hang of it. So, and so that's what I really love to see, is that people, getting the courage to just try it.
That's right.
Just try it.
Yes.
You're going to love it,
So now your goals now, where do you see yourself, say, in the next 5 years, yourself?
5 years? Oh, probably a retirement home. No.
Don't say that. She didn't mean it.
Well, I'm hoping that, I'm encouraging the arts, and that we'll see more of it in everybody's homes. Because for me, like, my motto is, let it bring warmth, a smile to your face. If only for a moment, let it last a lifetime. And that's, I think art brings out such good feelings for me, and just like, I'm just seeing the expression and the emotion that you can get from artwork, and whether it be peaceful, whether it be making a statement, you know?
Yes.
I mean, that's what a lot of art is making a statement.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it, there should be statements made, you know?
Are you looking for other places, Deb, or the society of where to be able to show pieces? Are you looking for other places? Can we put that out there while I've got you here as a guest?
Oh, yeah. The Schenectady Art Society is always looking for new venues. Like I said, this is the first year we'll be displaying at the Gildan Library. So they're excited about that because it's new, you know. We did for years, we were displaying at the Schenectady Community College, but then things got like too complicated and we just didn't have the staff to review everything before it went up there. But that was a beautiful venue. We loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, you know, you're a small art group. You don't have the people to, you know, to take the time to like review everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
I see.
And I get it. I mean, it was a public room that we were in, the Van Curler room, for many years. But we have found other venues that have been, you know, pretty good.
I see.
The Turf Tavern is a big one. Y'all have to go out to dinner there. Their food is amazing. And get that hummingbird cake. It's so good.
Making me hungry.
So
gee.
I think I'm going to leave it at that.
Beautiful. That's lovely. That's so lovely.
I don't know which camera's on, so should I face all of them?
Yeah, those there. Those.
So here we are. It's just a quick little thing. And like, what was it, 10 minutes?
About 15. Yeah.
So
wow,
not bad.
Let me see that. Oh, I love that. You like the boats.
I love the boats.
And the water, that actually looks like rippling water.
Yeah. You just put a little light smidges. Now I would normally go back in and put some shadows in there, but I'm going to leave it for now.
Does this have to be sprayed or anything?
No, acrylic paints, you don't need to spray them.
You don't have to. Okay.
You can coat them. A lot of people do coat them with a it's a glaze that you can put over them, and it really brightens the colors too. It's really pretty.
Wow.
It's just hard to get an image of it because it gets a little shiny. But then that does allow you. I mean, basically acrylic, when it dries, it's a plastic. So that's why it won't come out of your clothes or your furniture. So don't paint on anything that you know you do care if you ruin it, you know.
And then this is mine.
Oh, yay. Oh, look at that, the Red Cross.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
There's mine.
Yay. And one other thing on this palette knife, a lot of times I'll take we started with just a plain white canvas today, but a lot of times I'll use a gesso. And especially in the sky, I like to get a little texture in there. It makes it easier for you to get coverage than the plain canvas.
Okay.
Right?
Let's hold both of ours up.
Oh, yay.
To the viewers.
Ta-da.
There's mine too.
And I do usually finish them on the edge, but then my hands get all messy, so I won't do that on TV.
There's both of them.
I like your color palette.
You do like it?
I do,
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. So I'm so glad that we were able to do this. It was so much fun,
too.
Deb.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm hooked now.
Yay!
The new Carla.
The new Carla.
and the new journey.
Journeys are good.